Are you prepared to go deeply into one of the most important topics impacting millions of Americans today? We're going to unravel the complex network of Social Security, which serves as a lifeline for countless retirees, the disabled, and survivors. But it's more than just statistics and guidelines. It concerns the foundation of our society and the future we are constructing for future generations. As the Social Security environment changes under our feet, it is imperative that we recognize the seriousness of the situation. For example, estimates suggest that Social Security will run out of money by 2033. Yes, it is correct. The fundamental foundation that millions of people rely on for their financial security is in danger of collapsing. But why? Since Social Security's founding, the ratio of workers to retirees has decreased from 10 to barely 4. An aging population and a decline in the number of workers. There is no denying the system's strain, and with benefit cuts threatening, there is a pressing need to find solutions. Congressman Kevin Hearn, a powerful figure in the halls of power, steps in as in the forefront of a national discussion on Social Security's future, is the chairman of the Republican Study Committee. Their proposal would raise the retirement age to 69 and redistribute payments to those who need them the most. It's a divisive topic, but one that requires our attention. Politicians influencing the story. As we go deeper into the complex inner workings of Social Security, the stakes couldn't be higher with the 2024 presidential race looming big. President Biden has committed to defend and expand Social Security, arguing for the wealthiest to pay their fair amount. Becomes clear that the difficulties we face go far beyond simple policy discussions. At its foundation, Social Security is a promise to protect the lives of the elderly, disabled, and survivors of our country. But as we approach an uncertain future, it is critical to address the stark reality that could undermine this security pillar. The Social Security system's funding structure, which mostly depends on contributions from current employees to assist the retired and disabled, is one of its main pillars. However, given changes in the economy and population, the viability of the system may be threatened. Of this model has drawn criticism. The disparity between the number of beneficiaries and active contributors highlights how urgently reform is needed. The suggestion by Congressman Kevin Hearn to increase the retirement age and modify benefits according to income levels is indicative of a larger political discussion on one. In order to maintain the program's viability for future generations, there is a call for long-term sustainability and fiscal responsibility. On the other hand, there is a commitment to safeguarding the most vulnerable members of society and promoting equitable access to necessary benefits. The President Biden's stance on Social Security reflects this contradiction as he attempts to strike a careful balance between fiscal responsibility and social justice by supporting higher taxes on the wealthy. By doing so, he hopes to provide much-needed funding for the program without burdening lower-class individuals. But the effectiveness of such, as we navigate the complex landscape of Social Security reform, measures continue to be a source of contention, with critics questioning their viability and potential impact on economic growth. It's important to take into account the larger socioeconomic context in which these discussions unfold. As the COVID-19 pandemic has exposed the pervasive inequities in access to healthcare, employment, and financial security for many minority communities, are made worse by the societal injustices that afflict us. A lifeline in the middle of the pandemic's economic chaos, Social Security emphasizes its important role in creating resilience and stability in addition to its intersectionality. The growing expense of healthcare and the requirement for comprehensive coverage, together with other important policy areas like immigration and healthcare, further complicate the reform process. Highlight how these problems are related to one another, since people depend on Social Security income to pay for medical bills and maintain their standard of living. Similarly, as undocumented immigrants contribute to the workforce and pay into the Social Security system, their exclusion from certain benefits highlights the complexities of life. The ongoing debate over immigration policy and its impact on Social Security funding raises difficult questions about national identity, economic integration, and social cohesion. on immigration reform and how it affects social welfare initiatives. Given these difficult issues, we must approach any significant Social Security change with nuance, empathy, and a dedication to equity rather than relying solely on ideological dogma or partisanship. Policymakers need to have a positive conversation and look for a shared understanding to simultaneously address the fundamental structural problems ailing the program. Community organizing and grassroots activism are vital in influencing the conversation over Social Security reform because they give voice to people who are most affected by policy choices. Advocates are able to hold public servants responsible. The future of Social Security depends on our collective ability to face the stark realities of demographic change, economic uncertainty, and social inequality, even though the way forward may be difficult. We must advocate for solutions that put the needs of the most vulnerable members of society first. And challenges, it also has the capacity to positively influence and transform society as we work to create a more equitable, compassionate, and just one. Let's remember the core values that underpin Social Security, security, and solidarity by preserving these ideals and striving for. In the end, it's not just about numbers on a balance sheet. Let's reaffirm our commitment to preserving the promise of Social Security for future generations. By working together, regardless of political differences, we can ensure that every American has the chance to age with grace, dignity, and financial security, or triumphs in politics. He is 66 years old, can't afford to live, and is receiving social services from his board. It's about honoring our shared humanity and creating a future where every individual can thrive and succeed regardless of age, income, or circumstance. He is desperate to find a job. Although there is security, it is insufficient because illegal immigrants are getting public funds. I responded, "You know what? I fight discrimination. Who's to blame for all of this?" "Oh my God, Congressman Biden, the mayor, you know it's a big problem, but right now you can't allow. There are thousands and thousands of people pouring in every day. Times Square looks like a third world country. As a citizen, I have to stand here because I want to work, but they won't hire me. They say, 'Oh, you're too many.' Now, when a legal immigrant enters our nation and applies for refugee status, they automatically receive a $1,500 payment every month. Where do you think it comes from, taxpayer money? But we are unable to raise Social Security benefits like this. What our real issues are these days? But pay attention to what he has to say about where we're heading. For example, the Social Security movement is changing significantly. But it's not only about the changes, it's also about who's going to be in power to implement these adjustments. As we negotiate these challenging waters, one thing is still evident. Social Security's future is in jeopardy. Whether it's through bipartisan cooperation on policy improvements or grassroots activism, the moment to act is now. Please join us as we won't stop drawing attention to this important problem, because working together, we can guarantee that every American enjoys the safety and respect they are entitled to throughout their golden years. Watch this space for additional updates and analysis on how the most recent events have changed the destiny of our country.